Looking back, my life has been pretty tough. I'm a 26-year-old woman, and my parents were teenagers when they had me. They split up when I was just a baby, and things got really ugly. They fought a lot over who should take care of me, and it made my childhood very stressful. Sadly, my mom passed away when I was 23 years old. My childhood was really tough because of all the fighting at home. My stepmom was often at the center of the conflicts. She was a major source of stress for me growing up because of her mean behavior, since I lived with my dad most of the time. She was always around. My dad and I had a big argument, but we made amends when I was 23, just a few months after my mom passed away in a car accident. I forgave him for not being there for me enough and for letting his wife treat me poorly. This made my grandma on my dad's side very happy. Let's jump forward to last Christmas. I actually spent time with my stepmom and we went shopping for gifts together. We had a great time until we went to lunch and things took a turn for the worse. She asked me, "Do you know why your dad and I never built our own house? Did he ever tell you?" I said no. Then she said, "Well, we had to sell the land we owned and just buy a house instead. We couldn't afford to build because of all the legal fees from your custody case when you were a kid." She was talking about the court battle that started when I was just 5 years old. This comment really surprised me, and I didn't know what to say. Later that evening, I called my grandma on my dad's side and asked her, why didn't my dad ever build a house? She told me it was because my stepmom wanted a really fancy house that they couldn't afford. Then I told her what my stepmom had said about the court fees for my childhood. My grandma was very upset because she said she had helped pay for those legal fees. I decided not to bring it up with my dad because my grandma was very sick with liver failure and didn't have much time left. She was happy to see my dad and me getting along, so I didn't want to ruin that. My grandma passed away in April. Now it's July. And my dad's cousin has told me all the horrible things my stepmom says about me. She even brags about how she treated me badly when I was growing up. One example is that she kept a separate fridge just for me because she didn't want me contaminating her son's food. That's just one of many mean things she's proud of. According to my dad's cousin, my dad wasn't there when she said these things, but he knew about it and didn't do much to stop it. I've had enough. I forgave my dad for all the pain he caused me, and I let it go when my stepmom blamed me for their financial issues. But now, hearing about how she brags about treating me badly and my dad doing nothing to stop it, that's the final straw. I'm 26 years old, a parent myself, and I don't need this kind of hurt in my life anymore. I've taken too much from my dad already, and with my grandma gone, I don't feel obligated to keep accepting this behavior. It's time for me to stand up for myself. It's hard for me because my mom is no longer alive. She's gone, and my dad is all I have left, even though he's not the best. I'm exhausted from all the hurt and disrespect. Honestly, he doesn't add much positivity to my life. My kids know him, but they're not very close to him like they would be in a typical grandparent-grandchild relationship. I need help figuring out how to have a serious conversation with my dad. Should I limit our contact or cut ties altogether? If so, how do I do it in a calm and logical way? Please provide some examples of sentences I can use to express my feelings and boundaries. I'm struggling to approach this situation without letting my emotions take over. Story 2. I'm dealing with some tough family issues. My mom struggles with alcohol, and my dad has passed away. To protect my own well-being, I decided to take a break from communicating with my mom. However, my younger sister, Pam, chose not to do the same, which led to a really strange and difficult situation. A few weeks ago, Pam and I got into an argument. She claimed that I was her real mother, which isn't true. When I was a teenager, I took on a lot of responsibilities and helped raise her, but I'm her sister, not her mom. However, our mom had told Pam a different story, that I had given birth to her as a teenager, abandoned her when I left for college, and that Pam should be thankful our mom raised her instead. This wasn't true. but it caused a lot of confusion and tension between us. What triggered Mom to share this family secret was that Pam had been sending her most of her money, which wasn't much to begin with. As a student working part-time, Pam's budget was tight, especially since she had to split living expenses with several roommates. When she tried to stop sending money to Mom, it caused tension. In an attempt to control Pam and get more money, Mom told her a false story about me being her real mother. Feeling betrayed, Pam confronted me about it. The good news is that we were able to resolve the issue with the help of Pam's best friend, Sarah. Pam is now doing better and has taken a positive step by starting therapy soon. Unfortunately, the therapy program at her college wasn't helpful, so I arranged for her to see a private therapist instead. It'll take a few weeks to begin, but she's already taken a big step by cutting off contact with Mom. I'm relieved to see Pam moving forward and taking care of herself. Unfortunately, Mom hasn't stopped harassing Pam. At first, Mom called Pam constantly, but Pam stood firm and told her she wouldn't answer until Mom got help for her drinking problem. When Mom kept calling, sometimes every hour, Pam blocked her number. But Mom didn't give up. She started using other people's phones, like our neighbors and her friends, to call Pam. When that didn't work, Mom got her close friend from work to message Pam on Facebook. Pam blocked those numbers too and even deleted Facebook. Luckily, Pam prefers using TikTok anyway, so she's moved on from that. Things took a turn for the worse when Mom showed up at Pam's rental house, where she lives with roommates. Luckily, Pam wasn't there, but Mom was incredibly rude to the roommates, who got so fed up that they threatened to call the police. Now, they want Pam to move out. I can understand why. They're friendly, but they're not close friends, and this drama is more than they bargained for. Dealing with my drunk mom's behavior would be overwhelming for anyone. Thankfully, Pam has a rental agreement, so they can't evict her immediately. But this adds more stress to an already difficult situation. I'm considering breaking my no-contact rule with Mom just to tell her to leave Pam alone. While Mom's behavior is harassment, it's not severe enough for the police to get involved. She's not being violent or threatening, just her usual drunk and disruptive behavior that I've dealt with since childhood. I advised Pam to tell her roommates to call the police if Mom shows up again, but even if they do, the best outcome would be a drunk and disorderly charge, which Mom has been arrested for before. That time, she only spent 4 days in jail because it happened on a Friday night and she couldn't see a judge to set bail until Monday. It's a frustrating situation. I'm not sure. Maybe I'm just venting. I don't hate my mom, but I hate how she's treating my sister. I think if Mom got sober, she might improve, but she's using alcohol to avoid dealing with her emotional issues. Issues she's never wanted to face. Instead, she's pushed them onto me. And when I stopped enabling her, she shifted them onto Pam. I don't want my sister to go through that pain. Even though I didn't give birth to Pam, she's like a daughter to me, and this situation has been absolutely terrible.